I've got my notes here. So here is our wrap up for the past month for December. And all month I felt like we're not getting anything done this month. And then when I went to write my wrap up of everything that we did last month, I ran out of room on the page. So we've actually been very, very, very busy this December, but as far as like the renovation and stuff, we don't have a lot to show for it, but we've gotten a lot of other things done. So here is our quick wrap up for what we've done in December. Starting with...
Hey, Steve's here.
Oh, Steve's here. Hey, Steve.
Steve, I heard you had some excitement.
Yeah. Steve, glad you're with us. Thanks for... You got a day off, huh? You earned a rest day. Stanley says, been an interesting year. Maybe next year will be even more so. Says you're doing great and you may have a delay.
Yeah. We've had enough interest. Thank you very much. We're ready for boring.
We're ready for boring. Yeah. Yeah, and if we decide we've had a year of monthly live streams, and if we decide to keep doing this, I've got to figure out a less stressful way because I don't want a repeat of what happened this month. I thought for sure after 12 months with no hiccups that we had got it figured out, but I was wrong. So starting with honey, we had our final honey tasting event of the year. We had a stall at the new business on our island. It's called Miyaura Shoten, and it is where we used to have a little pop-up market before they started renovating the building. The owners of the building own a popular restaurant and hostel called Sando, right down by the main attraction on our island, which is Oyamazumi Shrine. And they just opened another business called Miyaura Shoten, and so they fully renovated the inside of an abandoned, closed down former pharmacy building, and they've done an amazing job. The inside's super cute. It's a 2-story building, so upstairs is what they're calling a share house. So it's for like longer term rentals, but people who don't want to sign a year lease. Then the downstairs is a laundromat and a little cafe and a shop featuring all local artists and items, which is similar to what I had in mind for my retro shop, but a little bit different. So they've got all the local artists with their handmade postcards and stickers and all kinds of cute things, and then all the different honey available from the island. And it's also just a big open community space with tables and a stage. And so it's they've only been open a month, and their first market was really great. We had more customers than any other time we've had the market before in the unrenovated space. So the new space is just really comfortable and attractive, and obviously got a lot more foot traffic. So that was great, and that was our last honey tasting of the year. And so now looking at our honey inventory, we have 95 jars remaining. So we're under 100 now. We've sold 92% of honey from the year, and we have 8% left. So I don't think we're going to sell out by the end of the year, but that's pretty close. So for our first year, starting from over 1,250 jars, I think we've done pretty good.
And all those jars that are remaining are the big jars, so...
Yeah, not all of them, but most of them. So this is good information to go into. Just good information to keep in mind for next year. So I would say half of the last remaining jars are our extra large size. So that was obviously the slowest seller. And then we've got about 30 of our medium size, and of course the small sold out first. Our little teeny tiny size sold out first. So we have gotten a lot of good data from looking at the speed of how quickly each jar sells.
Steve says, FYI for Akiya buyers, any building that was once used as a medical facility can never be used as a cafe or restaurant. Yeah, that's really weird. That's a good little piece of trivia for,
Oh, really? I had no
yeah,
idea. Is that like a regulation
like
nationwide
like
or
biohazard or something like that. That's ridiculous, but
anything?
thank you, government.
Thanks, Steve. Yeah, this was a pharmacy building, but I guess
Bad juju.
bad juju, huh? All right. And for the farming side of things, you know, we did a lot better with our farming last year than we did this year. However, we're planning for next year and we're going to really bump up the farming for next year. So, our accomplishment in December towards that goal is
We ordered 20 lime trees from the JA.
yeah, so we're going to start Evan's going to start planting his trees. What other trees do you have growing, Evie?
Oh, I have a lot of pollinator trees for our hedges that we're gonna plant. And then just yesterday, I got our last tomatoes off of the plants. Some tomatillos too, and I think it was a couple weeks ago I pulled our last peppers off the plant. But so we're consistently getting tomatoes and peppers into the last week of December. So that gives you an indication of it's a pretty mild climate here.
Yeah. Oh, Natasha made it. Hi, Natasha. How are y'all settling back in? You just had a big trip to Japan and now you're back in the States. So hopefully one of these trips you'll make it out to our area. So moving on to the guest house last month. So if you saw, I wrote and published our second year guest house wrap up video. That had a lot of really interesting data. I had a lot of fun writing that video and going through the numbers for the year and comparing them to last year and sort of looking at our forecast. So within the next few weeks, I believe by the end of January is going to be our break-even point for all of the guest house costs, and that is for the house purchase, the renovation, ongoing utilities, furnishing, everything that we've put into the guest house, including the licensing, getting the ryokan license, all of that by the end of January is going to be recouped. The expense will be made back. So that was really exciting. I initially didn't expect that to happen until year 3. So if you're interested in numbers and data and how we're tracking guest statistics such as like how many cyclists versus walking versus taking the ferry, all kinds of, I think it's interesting stuff. I like stuff like that. So feel free to check that out if you also like numbers. Now we've got some chats.
Okay, Julie says, always nice to have good limes. It seem harder to get than lemons. Yeah, lemons are huge here. Limes are less huge, but they're pretty cheap when they're in season, which is now. So yeah, those are going to be part of our salsas for the upcoming taco pop-up we're going to be talking about. But yeah, limes are great, and we can grow them well here. So we're gonna. And that music guy, funny question or funny story about that. When I went to the JA to buy the limes or to order the lime seedlings, I asked them what variety they were, and he's like, regular limes.
Regular limes.
So it was the only variety that it had. So, and that's like a Tahitian lime. I don't know. There's a few different varieties of like the big normal regular.
They're
lime.
regular limes.
There's also people that grow what we call key limes in the United States, the little tiny ones. Here they call them Mexican limes. So, but those are less frost hardy. So I wasn't sure that I could grow them here, but I talked to some other farmers and they said they grow no problem. So we're also going to be planting those when we can source them. We're also going to be planting avocados. I think that's going to be a big, you know, I've been following a orchardist named Stefan Sobkowiak who's in Ontario, and he grows he has a mixed orchard of apple, pear, and then he alternates apple, pear, and then a nitrogen fixer. So that is what I want to do with our orchards. But yeah.
Yeah, so this is the year that we start planting for some more long-term output. So obviously lime trees are not going to produce our own limes next year, but we're going to get them planted and in place and get them growing. So right now Evie's got our couple of avocado trees in pots, and so of course we need to get more avocado trees. But when do we get the lime seedlings?
March, I think. I don't remember. Yeah. They also had avocados. The lime seedlings are 900 yen, so that's like $6 for a 1 or 2 year old seedlings. That's pretty dang cheap. The avocados, they only had two varieties, which were Fuerte and Pinkerton, maybe. But those were 10,000 yen, so that's like $60. So I found those a lot cheaper online. I found a website out of like Kagoshima that had, I don't know, like 20 different types. So I'm gonna order some from them.
Didn't they also have avocado seedlings at that Michinoeki about an hour from here?
Yeah, but those were JA too.
Oh.
Those were cheaper. Yeah, those were only like 4,000 yen. But so I'll probably just be planting all the varieties because I found out that they're Omishima avocados. I found out they only have 6 trees. So so we're just gonna be planting all the varieties we can get and kind of testing out to see which ones do well here.
Yeah, there's a couple. Isn't there a few avocado growers here? So we are.
Probably. I've talked to some guys that.
We should make the area. Should be known for avocados.
Yeah, I saw them at the. I saw one avocado a big avocado going for 950 yen at the Michinoeki. So. Good business to be in.
Yeah, that's good. Because we've mentioned before that the Michinoeki, the farmers markets, they're a great place to buy produce because they're super low price and of course super local, but not as good of a place to sell produce because the prices are so low. However, the avocados are up there. So limes and avocados, that goes in with our Mexican food theme. So that's one big thing that we're going to be working on next year.
Yeah. And Patricia just joined the chat. Welcome, Patricia.
Patricia, a bit late, but I finally made it to a live. Hi, Patricia. Glad you made it. We had you're actually not that late because we had a bit of a rocky start. We had some audio issues, so the first 15 minutes or so was us scrambling to get it all figured out. So, welcome to the party. So let's see, moving back to what we've accomplished in December, the other note that I had about the guest house is this is our 3rd December of operation. So 2 Decembers ago we had just opened, and then last December we'd been open just over a year. And so this is our 25th month of operation this December, and it was it was a good month. It was a solid month. Before now, our last 2 Decembers were all super low. So we were looking at our slow season as being December, January, and February, and then part of March. But this year, our December was just a normal month. So it was just like all of our other good months. And so it's looking more like slow season in the future. If we keep this up, slow season is just going to be January and February, and then possibly the first half of March. So it looks like our first booking in March right now, we've got lots of bookings in March, April, May, June. And the first booking in March is March 17th. And so a lot of the island businesses close down, people take vacations in February, and judging by what the other businesses in the area do, they also tend to open up about mid-March, so not early March. So this December was great, solid month. It's going to be still busy through the new year. So we'll be busy with both the guest house and our very first taco pop-up, which we'll get to in a minute. I think that'll probably be what we talk about most, because that's the biggest thing we have going on right now at the moment. So it's really starting tomorrow. Evan's next 3 days is going to be getting ready for that, and then the following 2 days will be the actual pop-up. So that's our biggest thing on the to-do list right now. Let's see. Consultation continues to be 0 as expected ever since the business manager visa changes were leaked and then announced. We've had nobody contacting us for consultations for the startup visa or the business manager visa or immigration to Japan at all. So that was expected because the changes were so drastic, as you know. But we are continuing to meet new folks moving to the islands and coming here. But most of the people that we're meeting are not having plans to live here permanently. So the people, since the visa changes, the people that we're meeting are looking to buy property here but then not live here full time. So there seems to be a bit of a shift.
I was gonna say it's been a while since we've heard any good plans for how to make a life here.
Yeah. Well, there's the couple who are coming to visit us, and they plan to open a restaurant, and
Okay. Well,
so
that's good.
I would include them in the good plans.
Okay, I haven't heard their plan though. So
Yeah. Well, we'll meet them in spring sometime. Don't remember what month.
in the future we will hear a good plan.
Yeah.
And we look forward to hearing good plans.
Absolutely.
Back when we were doing consulting, we heard some really interesting stories, different businesses people had to move here, and I would love to.
Yeah.
I'd love to get back to that.
Every consulting call that we did have, which was quite a few, we had a couple a month, and genuinely were interested in everyone's business ideas. Everybody had like these creative ideas that were specifically seemed like they would work perfectly in the whatever part of Japan they were planning to move to. Lots of really good ideas. So it would be nice if.
And I continue to emphasize my opinion that you should not just be moving to Japan and starting a guest house, or buying a property and starting a guest house, because especially in rural areas, there's a dearth of activities for tourists to do. So if you're in Kyoto, it's probably no problem, or if you're on the slopes of some ski resort, it might not be a problem. But like here on Omishima, there's not a lot of restaurants, there's not a lot of daytime activities. So please, think about that as a business owner when you're thinking about running a Airbnb and thinking it's just going to be a turnkey sort of passive income stream. Like, I don't know if that's.
Well, as far as the business manager visa too, it seems like immigration is really choosing that as something to point their finger at too. So, like for us, I think the good aspect of our business is that it's more, the guest house is part of it, but our long-term plan has been the farming and honeybees, and then the guest house could work into that with agricultural tourism and that sort of thing. So, I mean, I think what I'm hoping is happening right now is that, a lot of people have been shocked by the visa changes. People who were planning to come to Japan but, hadn't started the paperwork yet, and now their plans are put on hold as they try to figure out what to do. What I'm hoping is happening behind the scenes is that a lot of those people are like reconfiguring their plans and figuring out how to make it work. And it's just going to take some time, and then, people are going to start putting those new plans into motion.
But we do know from some people who have contacted us that that's not what's happening, and they're moving to places like Korea, other countries that
Yeah,
have more.
a lot of people who are talking to us on Instagram and, that I've just gotten to know through responding to stories and messages. A lot of people are shifting gears. And some people that we've been in contact with who are actually already here with the startup visa, or the business manager, not the business manager, the startup visa. Or yes, some on the business manager visa have already decided that they're trying to figure out how to close their business, and they're either moving back to their home country or they are going somewhere else that has different visa requirements. So it's definitely caused a major shakeup for a lot of people, and for us too. We spent
Yeah, we're still shaking up.
we're figuring it out. We're still figuring it out. But I'd be lying if I said that we didn't spend a couple of weeks just panicking, and just depressed. And what are we gonna do? And this is there's no way we can meet these goals. But we got some good plans. Us, like, I don't want to say what we're going to do until it's official and it's happened. I'm very careful with the wording. I don't want to say this is what we're going to do, even if it's only like 90% sure. So we have some, which I guess I'm getting ahead of myself. I'm not really following my outline here, but we have some plans in place for how we're going to work towards the visa goals, and that has caused us, I think, to become more hopeful. And it's not just tacos. So we have.
Yeah. Well, and we'll get back to that after you get through the rest of your notes here. We got some good comments here. Steve says 30 minutes from a Shinkansen stop max. That's really good advice because so many travelers do rely on the Shinkansen, which I think is a great, a great way to get around Japan. We are only like 40 minutes from Fukuyama Station, so we're just over that. But because the only connection is the highway bus from Fukuyama Station to here, it's still not great. And the highway bus is not regular. It's only like four to six a day. I'm not exactly sure, but I don't think we get a lot of bus riders. If they
6% of our guests last year arrived.
There you go. You go.
6% arrived by bus.
And I don't think you can if you're gonna ride the Shimanami Kaido. Well, you can take there's a Shinkansen stop in Onomichi, right? Mm-hmm. But then you got to get to where the bike rentals are in Onomichi, so it's not a direct connection. That doesn't work out super well for us. Mm-hmm.
Marcus says still a bit lamenty about the cafe roasting sausage Onomichi plan. Marcus had a great plan for Onomichi, and he had the coolest location picked out. Marcus took the bus. You're one of the 6% then.
Yeah. Oh, we just got a bunch of comments. That must be the lag.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that music guy says the hardest part is the 30 million yen. I don't know about that. I think finding an employee might be the hardest part, but we have yet to cross either of those two bridges. So we'll keep you filled in as we do. Mm-hmm. Japan is now not competitive as it's the most expensive business visa in the G20. Yeah, I mean, there's other factors there, but starting a business in Japan is a difficult thing. I'll just say that.
Yeah. I mean, it's difficult anyways with all the hoops and the paperwork. It's just a lot of paperwork. There's a lot to it. When we did, the 6-month startup visa, 6 months sort of sounded like a long time at the beginning, and then when you realize how long everything takes and how many steps there are to opening a business, coming from my background, which is just in America being a sole proprietor, and it's basically like I just declare my photography business was open, and then it was it was so simple, So my only experience operating a business was being a sole proprietor in the U.S., and it was just a much
Well, it's hard to immigrate, period, right? It's hard to leave your home and go to a new country, so.
Tasha says, we're just focusing on trying to build our business here in the US and maybe see if we can transfer over to Japan later. Transfer a business versus a business startup or business manager visa. Yeah. We've had that question before about if you have a business in the US, can you open a branch in Japan, which I think is what you're asking, Natasha. And that I don't know a whole lot about. If you want to live here, it would still be the same visa process. But if you guys focus on building your business there, then that'll give you more time to figure it out for the future. So, hey, Bosco, please don't lick my shirt right now. Okay, moving on to YouTube. So we're about at our average. We have 60 new subscribers from the last month. And then we have 5 monthly memberships. So on YouTube, we have 2 monthly members. We have Saab and JJ. And on Buy Me a Coffee, we have 3 monthly members, Jennifer, Cody, and Kasasagi Home. So thank you to our members, and also just thank you to everyone who joins us for these silly live streams and hangs out with us and just comments and keeps the encouraging comments coming. Those are always appreciated. So the big thing, and one of the major time-consuming things this month of December was, so last month we got the subsidy, the small business subsidy approved, and so this month some of the renovation work was started, and we got a bank loan. So we're doing a lot of paperwork and logistics this month. So the bank loan was finalized on Christmas morning. We got a text on Christmas Eve about 6 p.m. that asked if we could come into the bank Christmas morning at 9 a.m. and do some paperwork. So we have the first of a 2-part bank loan complete. And I didn't thoroughly explain this when I made the video covering the subsidy, but now that it is almost certain, I'm comfortable sharing some more details about it. So we have a 2-part bank loan, all covering the garage renovation and the subsidy expenses. So the first part of the bank loan, which we will receive tomorrow, covers the cost of the garage roof replacement, which was not part of the subsidy, so we're paying 100% of that cost. Plus, it's covering our 1/3 of the subsidy costs. So then the second part of the loan will be what's called a bridge loan, which is another new term for me. And the bridge loan is for the remaining 2/3 that the subsidy actually covers. But first we have to pay the contractors, then the subsidy reimburses us. So the bridge loan, it was a lot easier to get. It's more like a guaranteed super short term loan. So they'll just loan us the money to pay the contractors, and then as soon as we get the subsidy payment, then we just immediately pay the bridge loan back. So it's it's a 2-part loan, and it ensures that we it ensures that we have more liquidity in our account, I guess would be. So we technically have enough cash to cover all of these costs, but by receiving the loans, it makes it less scary, I guess. Is that the best way to put it?
Sure.
Yeah.
And should we talk about how the loan works itself? Because
Sure, if you want to talk about that, yeah.
So, I'm sure a lot of people would be.
Is anybody interested in this? You start
Yeah,
talking about
we
it.
got some comments about the
Okay.
loan. So, because of our visa situation, we are not eligible for a personal loan. The bank manager was, really, he's been really. I mean, I think it's hard to work with a bank in Japan, but he's been very helpful, and
Super helpful.
he's really gone out of his way to to think about the ways that he can help us and work with our situation, which is, well, it is unique, right? I mean, how many people do we find out are foreigners in Ehime Prefecture or anyway, there's very few foreigners, right? There's very few people like working with the bank. So to say that our situation is unique is not an exaggeration by any means. So, but we are not eligible for a personal loan because we only have a 1 year visa.
So he said any sort of loan could only be up to the date of our visa. So that would, we just got our visa in December, so it
Right.
would have to be a less
Yeah.
than a 1 year loan.
So, and we were thinking we were on track for getting a 3 year visa at this point, but then with all the changes, we're just hosed again. So, what happened with the bank loan is we got a business loan, and I am personally liable as the guarantor. Okay, so yeah, if we aren't able to pay back, if we get deported, right, I will be on the
Yeah.
hook for that.
So if our visa doesn't get renewed, the loan becomes payable immediately.
Yeah, and so he explained how there's in Japanese loan policy there's a short term loan and a long term loan, and the short term loan is meant to be payable within the year. So the bridge loan part of the loan is going to be a properly said short term loan, but we're getting a loan that is a 3 year loan, but it's going to be renewable in 1 year increments. So that's a little bit strange to me.
Yeah,
but
I don't know if they have that. We've been saying like I never had a loan in the US besides a house mortgage, so I don't know if this is available in the US.
Yeah.
So it's like it's a 3 year loan as far as the payments and the
So the interest rate has been calculated as if it were a 3 year loan, and the interest rate is not super low, and it's variable, which is kind of scary to me. But basically, the loan's going to be renewable up to 3 years. So there's going to be a balance at the end of this year if we don't pay it all back. If we go by the schedule, there's going to be a balance at the end of the year that's going to roll over. That's going to be renewed for the next year and the year after that. And so the way it is working is we actually got another little bank book, and it's like an escrow account. So
Yeah.
our business account is going to get debited for the monthly payment every month, and it's going to go into that account. And then at the end of the year, I think they said it's going to come out of that account and go to the bank itself to
every
pay it
6
off.
months.
Every 6 months. So.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's just
It's
how
kind of it's
how
a
that
cool
works.
situation, and I don't know if it's common in Japan. I have no idea. I don't know if like our bank manager, I know he's been super helpful and really proactive and just really wanting to support our business as much as possible. So I don't know if this is just a super creative solution that he came up with, or is this common in Japan? I don't know. We have zero experience with that. But it's great for us. We do plan to pay it off early anyways. So for us, it's really more of we just have a lot of things that we want to get done this winter and spring. And so I didn't want to spend all of our money on this renovation. And so really, because we have other things that we need to put that money towards over the winter, and we have almost no income in the winter because the guest house is slow. So for us, it was really more of just a peace of mind loan, and we'd like to use that money for other things in the short term. And then we'll probably, even though it's a 3 year loan, renewable every year, we'll probably get it paid off, I anticipate, within a year or two at the very most.
And we also just wanted to sort of get our foot in the door with the bank. Did you say that already?
I didn't
Yeah,
mention that,
so-
but yeah, this is the beginning of earning credit history in Japan too. So.
Yeah. Or I don't know if credit. We don't. I don't think we'll have a credit score per se, like exactly like you have in the United States. But it's the beginning of a relationship with the bank. So the banking in Japan is really relationship oriented. They want us as a customer, and they want to be able to use our story to market themselves and get more loans. So that's what we're doing. Yeah, and moving forward, we'd like to be able to have more leverage to do more stuff. So
Yeah, so he said, we can't take out another loan while this one is active, but once we pay it off and then we're in good standing, and especially if we pay it off early, the bank would like that as well. So then we would, be considered for paying off early is bad for your credit history. He said I specifically asked that. And Steve, I know that happens in some instances, but he said this one has no negative impact from paying it off early. So he said that would not be a problem.
well, and we actually can take out other loans while this loan is active. But the issue is that he explained how as a guarantor, there's two ways that I can be a guarantor with the loan, and the first is to have it on a case by case or like a piecemeal basis where I will, sign a contract with the bank that I am guaranteeing X amount of yen for this particular loan, and then for the next loan, I'm guaranteeing another X amount of yen, and so on and so forth. For each individual loan, I am registering as the guarantor for each individual loan. And in this case, I am the guarantor for basically every loan that Benton Homestead would take out. And so it's one lump sum of money. And every time I would come up with a new loan, I would have to basically like re-agree to, it would change that single lump sum amount. And so
I don't really get it.
So
I
for example,
don't follow that part of it, but
because
I don't need to.
because we're actually getting two loans right now. We're getting the personal loan for the roof that's not covered by the subsidy, and then we're getting the bridge loan. And the bridge loan we don't need for another 2 months. But that's going to be paid off like right away. So we're only getting the bridge loan so that we can pay the contractors.
Yeah, it'll be paid off within 60 days, I think.
So we have a loan for money that's going to be covered and paid back right away, and then we have so it's two loans, and he said, well, we can deal with this independently, each loan separately, or we can just do it all together, and it'd probably be easier just for paperwork to do it all together. So that's that's what we're doing. Mm-hmm. But yeah.
So that was a big thing. It was really time consuming, but we're so thankful to our bank and our bank manager, and it feels like a huge accomplishment. I mean, I don't know how rare it is, or I don't know, if they had to pull special strings for us, but this is what they came up with, and we're super grateful. So
big ups to Ito-san at EO Bank.
Thanks Ito-san. And so along with that, the renovation of the garage roof is complete. So that was the part that we're paying 100% of the costs for, and that is done. So the garage renovation, the rest of it is pretty much completely up to us now. So starting January 5th or so, after we get past the taco pop-up, we're going to have very few guests at the guest house, and we are going to be in full renovation mode during the coldest months of the year. So we'll be doing, first step is for Evie to do the insulation on the inside of the garage roof, and then we're just going to put insulation up and what's the wood called?
Plywood.
Plywood.
Yeah.
Just insulation and plywood. And just sort of go with the modern Japanese plywood aesthetic for the roof. And then we have to fix the shikui plaster on the inside and paint the inside on the walls because it's very, very dusty. And then on the outside, we're going to do some renovation too, and we're going to do some work on the windows. So we have our work cut out with us on the garage, but we'll definitely get it done by springtime. So that'll be our major January project. Now, before we get into tacos, just a personal note is that we also had two fun things in December. We had our was it December that we had their Thanksgiving?
It was
Maybe.
after the last.
Yeah, well,
live stream.
we had our second annual Thanksgiving. So Evan did another burn barrel turkey, thanks to Lawrence with Coco Lencho Japan. He came down, he brought us turkey and all the fixins from the American grocery store on the base. And so Evie cooked the turkey, and we shared that with all of our neighbors again. And this year we had more new neighbors who had an American Thanksgiving dinner for the first time ever. So that was great. And then shortly after that, we hosted our first taco party for a few other neighbors and friends. And that was also really fun. And so that's a segue into tacos. Take it over, Ivy. Let's talk about tacos.
Oh, Lord. Those are my notes. Prepping for tacos.
Prepping for tacos. So, January 1st and 2nd, we will have a rental food cart from, I mentioned Miura Shoten earlier, which is where we had the market. Now, they also run the Sando restaurant, and Sando has a food cart that they rent out, and so we are renting their food cart for 2 days of tacos on January 1st and 2nd, which is the only 2 days of the year that Omishima will have a traffic jam. We'll have so many people on the island. So, Evie has prepped. We've spent weeks getting ready for this, so, and planning and figuring it all out. So we're going to have 2 kinds of tacos, and we're going to plan for 50 taco plates a day. And if we sell 50, we're sold out, and that we're going to do what the local Japanese restaurants do. And if you sell out, you sell out. And so our first 2 days, we're going to plan for 50 taco plates. You can talk about the ingredients and whatever you want. I'm feeling excited. I feel like we're probably, I don't want to jinx ourselves, but I feel like we're probably going to have a lot of people, and it's pretty exciting. I did make a Facebook event page, and I posted it on, we're about an hour and a half from the Iwakuni military base up near Hiroshima, which, of course, there's a lot of Americans there. So I pasted it, I posted a Facebook event page in the Iwakuni page, and it's just a Facebook event. People can click interested even if they're not planning on coming. But we do have 30 people who've marked themselves interested in coming to the taco event all the way from Iwakuni. And I've had a few people even message me and say, hey, I'm an American. I live in Iwakuni. I'd really love to come down for tacos. Tell me about your island. What can I do? Because I have the holiday off. So I think we're going to get at least a few people. 30 people said they're interested. Not all 30 people are going to show up, I'm certain. But I think we'll get a few people coming all the way down from Iwakuni.
Well, 30 people, that's 100 total plates. That's a good indicator,
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. So
Yeah.
we're
We're
planning.
gonna sell out for sure.
We're going to sell out for sure. No, Julie, there will not be a traffic jam just because of the tacos. But perhaps a few of those cars will be going to tacos. Our island has the Oyamazumi Shrine is very popular for New Year's Day. Japanese families to go visit. And so all of our elderly neighbors will have their children and grandchildren visiting for New Year's. They will all go to the shrine on New Year's Day. And then also other Japanese families will travel from further areas to come specifically to this island shrine for New Year's Day. So this will be our 3rd New Year's here, right?
Yeah.
And the last 2 years, it's just been like
Bonkers
on the island. Even from our house, which is not on a main road, you can it's just a line of cars all day. And so the last 2 years, Evan has said, I should be out there selling tacos, and this year.
It's gonna happen.
We're doing it.
Yeah, and I mean, I wish we were prepping more, but it's we bit off more than we can chew when we made empanadas last year, and so we're just gonna try and start slow, start small to get
Yeah.
get all the kinks ironed out. And I mean, we're renting equipment and space, and so it's not going to be an ideal situation no matter how well we're able to prep for it. We're going to be just kind of slapping things together. So I'm sure we'll make money. I'm sure we'll sell out. It's not going to be a huge like windfall for us, but it's
Yeah.
going to be. I think it's going to be just a good gauge of interest in tacos here.
Yeah, so we did empanadas last year and they were popular, but not as popular as the amount of empanadas that we prepared because the foot traffic was not very big at that market.
I overestimated the foot traffic for that market, so I overprepped.
Yeah.
And
And I think this time we've learned from the empanada, from over preparing for the empanadas. We're probably super under preparing for New Year's tacos, but it's just a test. So
yeah. So
so you've prepared enough ingredients for.
well, let me talk about the ingredients then.
Okay.
Yeah. So I mentioned the last couple live streams that I've been working on making tortillas, and I actually managed to find there's 3 tortilla manufacturers in Japan that I have been able to find thanks to our friend Edgar, who is working with us too on the Mexican side of things. But so I am going to get our tortillas are in our freezer right now. They're from Molino Campo Noble in Tokyo, and they're frozen, but they're good. We tested them out at the taco party that we had.
Evan's been making really, really amazing homemade tortillas. And our first taco party, we tested out his homemade alongside these Campo Noble, is that what it's called?
Yep.
Tortillas from Tokyo. And they were good. I have to say, Evan's were better. But for this first event, we are. I mean, of course, fresh is just going to be better than frozen. But they were pretty darn good. So they were good enough for us both to say yes, these are definitely good enough for a taco pop up. And since then, I've noticed that there is another very popular taco shop in Osaka that also uses these frozen tortillas from Tokyo. So we're not the only ones that have had this exact same idea, and they're doing great. They're a bustling taco restaurant in Osaka, so I know it's not quite as good as having homemade tortillas for our very first event, but we're on the right track.
And we're going to be offering wild boar and chicken tacos. So the wild boar is going to be like carnitas, and the chicken is going to be tinga, which is like pulled shredded chicken. The boar is twice the cost of the chicken, but the main cost is the tortillas. So I'm going to be spending around 80 yen per tortilla, including shipping and everything. And so we're going to offer the chicken and the pork at the same price because that's the biggest, the tortilla is the biggest part of the price. So that's pretty, that it just kind of feels wrong to be paying more for the tortilla than you are for the meat. But that's the way it is right now. And we're considering importing a tortilla machine from Mexico and thinking about that being the next part of our business. But that's another story for another live stream. And that's the tortillas we've got sourced, the chicken and the pork we've got sourced, and then the salsas. I am basically using all of my homegrown vegetables, so tomatillos and tomatoes and peppers, and cilantro we have, and I'm also going to be buying some cilantro from a farmer on a neighboring island, but that's one of the toughest things to source. That's sort of like our biggest bottleneck is cilantro. We got the limes, okay, but yeah.
Hong mad because we moved the heater over here. He's over on the side. He's sitting where the heater usually is, and he's glaring at us because it's cold over there.
Yeah, and so moving forward, then that's cilantro is a finicky thing to grow. So that is going to be one of the biggest things that I have to think about because, of course, in the United States, you would just buy cilantro at the grocery store, and here, not so much.
But we met a farmer yesterday. We had an island neighbor that we'd met before at the dog rescue when we were volunteering. She was doing a pop-up farm stand, and she came to visit our guest house yesterday because she hadn't been inside yet and wanted to take a tour. And she said she could grow cilantro.
And she said she was growing cilantro.
Was growing.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, so if anyone wants to come here and do cilantro in addition to your guest house, might be something to think about.
Yeah.
Yeah, no comments on that. I think we have maybe a delay, hopefully.
About the tacos?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not sure how long our delay is. It makes the conversation a little difficult. I think if we continue these live streams throughout next year, which I would like to do, we have a few major things that we need to figure out as far as audio. Obviously, we had a glitch with our audio today. Yeah, we've got to figure out how to do our live streams a little bit better. Actually, I think there must be a fairly long delay right now. Let's see. So you're preparing for 150 tacos a day plus some extra just in case there's mistakes. So what do we have left to do to get ready? We've got to make some A-frame signs. I've got posters designed and printed, but we need a way to display them. And we should probably go look at the food cart and see exactly what's inside it.
Yes.
And then we already have plates. We're going to use real plates. And then for to-go orders, we have paper plates and tin foil. And we have napkins. And we have portion cups for the salsas. And we have cups for the horchata. Lots of napkins. I think we're pretty good to go, except for, you've got to start preparing all the food that you've purchased now.
Yeah.
So, and then we've got to get some sort of signage built to hang my posters from. Flour and water makes a paste for pasting up posters. Okay. Nice. I won't ask how you know that. Yeah, and I was wondering, I just thought yesterday maybe we should have a sign down the road with an arrow pointing down to it from the shrine. Tacos this way.
Yeah, I think we're going to sell out, so
Yeah.
I don't think we need to work too hard on the...
Yeah. But we're not visible from the shrine. So if someone's visiting and then they don't know about our tacos, yeah, I just think it might be cute. If we have time, we can figure out 2 signs. We need 2 signs. And then inside, so we'll be in a food cart outside, and then inside Mia or Shoten is going to be Radar Room Coffee, and they're super nice folks too. They have amazing coffee, and so they will also be attracting a crowd for their coffee, and then we'll be right outside with tacos. So I don't think horchata is going to be very popular this time of year, but we are going to make some because when we did horchata at a honey tasting event, we ended up selling like 25 horchatas and making a little over $100. So we might as well just have it. Horchata is the easiest of all the things to make. So that would be just a little bit of a bonus. Yeah, so... Oh, here's another thing. I also got PomeCon shirts finally up in our store. So...
Check them out.
Last Christmas, my super nice and super talented friend Janae surprised us with super cute illustrated PonCon t-shirts, and it's just got PonCon's face, and it says PonCon and Benton Homestead. And her, in addition to just sending us the shirts as a gift last Christmas, she also, her intent with the gift was for us to then sell those shirts on our site. And between her and I, we sort of went back and forth this year where we were trying to push them on her store and sell them on her store. And then I finally got around to getting them set up on our store. So we do have PonCon shirts available now in 2 colors. And what took me so long to set it up is because so we have our own web store, and everything on our web store, the antiques and the honey, come directly from me. I box them up and we put them in the mail. However, shirts are drop shipped, and so I sort of, I don't really know exactly how it works, but I found a company that ships worldwide and prints from within the country that the purchase is placed from. So people in the US or Europe or Australia can buy PonCon t-shirts, and then the shipping is super cheap, cheaper than Japan, which is very expensive. So the shirts are then printed from within the US or Europe or Australia and shipped to them from there. So that was just kind of complicated to set up in the back end of our web store. But those are live now. We've already sold 2 PonCon shirts, both of them in purple. What are our 2 colors? Butter yellow and orchid purple.
Orchid.
And
Steve, they're live now, buddy. He wants to buy a shirt.
They're ready to go. They are on the site. PonCon shirts. And we've had 1 request for a Bosco shirt. Janae offered. She said she'd draw a Bosco shirt, but if we have Bosco shirts, I want to actually pay her to illustrate them because that's her job as well. So she is
Bosco wearing a sombrero.
Yes. Yes. We
Steve's
need
got,
that.
Steve's got some great ideas too.
Steve's got some ideas. Can you buy paper sombreros cheaply? Give people one with every purchase, and the customers become walking billboards.
Brilliant.
Brilliant. Brilliant. Or a paper Mexican-style bib. Steve, you got to be in charge of our advertising. Yeah, I'll figure out how to get you a PonCon shirt. Yeah, message me later, and we'll figure out how to get you one. I know you're one of PonCon's biggest fans, so he's over there pouting, or I would put him on the screen right now. He's mad because the heater's over here. Yeah, so that was complicated. One day I spent like 4 hours on customer support chat trying to figure out the shipping stuff. Because every item that we have in our store has different shipping requirements, and so I don't need to bore you with all of that, but we finally got it all straightened out. So now the vintage items ship anywhere except the US because Japan Post is not shipping to the US at the moment. And then the honey ships only within Japan. We can't send that across borders yet. And then the t-shirts ship from whatever country they're ordered from, and they never actually are in Japan unless somebody orders them from within Japan. So that's all set up, figured out. That's the extent of my IT ability. And let's never talk about it again. Let's see. You want to talk about the coffee sample beans that you've delivered?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, so I brought some coffee beans back with us from Mexico. I hand carried them in our luggage. Brought back 3 kilograms each of 3 different varieties of the best that Mexico has to offer, according to our supplier. And so this is a side hustle that we're starting, and our friend Edgar is hoping to move here, and so we're basically trying to help him with his business get that established. But it's looking like if you want Mexican coffee beans in Japan, Benton Homestead is pretty much going to be your premier supplier. And I don't know a ton about coffee, to be honest with you. I'm learning as I go.
I
But
enjoy coffee, but don't know a lot of the intricacies of coffee. Coffee people are super into coffee.
yeah, and so Radar Room and Moonamel Cafe are the two roasters that I delivered it to on the island here, and they were super happy to. I mean, yeah, they looked at the little hand scrawled labels that I had written, and they said, "Oh, this variety from Mexico. I've never heard of this, and this famous variety coming from Mexico." So they were, yeah, really happy, and I didn't realize that one of the varieties that I brought was a Cup of Excellence placer. So yeah, so that's a prestigious coffee competition that I was able to get some beans from, and yeah, so yeah,
So the whole coffee thing started because we've been talking with our friend Edgar for a long time. He initially contacted us for our startup visa consultations because he was just curious about the startup visa process and thinking about moving here. And then, we started talking after the consultation and said, well, yeah, we're sort of, he proposed an idea for how we could work together. And then, we're like, well, yeah, and maybe we can combine things because we need peppers, and we're, thinking of doing the whole Mexican food thing. And so all of these ideas just sort of really meshed together. And Edgar's really great about all the technical aspect and the trying to figure out the shipping logistics and all of that. So we've had a lot of discussions with this friend of ours, and then we met him and his family for the first time when we were in Mexico. So we're just trying to find ways to work together that make sense for us as an existing business, for our future business plans, and then also he is hoping to eventually move here also on a business visa. So it's just a great potential partnership that has come from us offering consultation calls, and we're pretty excited about it. And from those conversations has been the coffee. So it's like, yeah, well, if we're shipping peppers or if we're shipping one thing from Mexico, we might as well add more things because that makes the shipping cheaper and make more sense. So another idea is the Mexican coffee beans. And we have no interest in roasting coffee or opening a cafe, but there's a lot of really, really great artisanal coffee roasters and cafes popping up all over the islands. So it sort of makes sense. They all want to have, special beans that they've tested and they love. And so we're like, yeah, it makes sense. We can bring you some beans over from Mexico, and the Japanese coffee specialty roasters can roast them up and sell them and do their thing with them, and we'll just get them here.
right. So he's talking with coffee growers in Mexico and also heirloom corn growers. And so if we can put together enough of an order to fill up a shipping container, that's going to be where the real the point where you start to save money on shipping comes in. So, and if we can only, with coffee and corn, we only need to make one shipment a year, really, and we can just keep that and dip into it as we need to make sales or make tortillas. So that is sort of the plan that is emerging.
Yep. So that's another thing we're working on over the winter. We're trying to get that going for springtime. Marcus says they seem to love new and niche things, and when they do it well, they do it really well. So yeah, I'm really impressed with all the new coffee roasters on the island. Blue Rose just opened, and they might be our future taco neighbor. We haven't really talked about that yet. But we do have a potential actual physical brick and mortar location that we're looking at for tacos. Radar Room is fabulous. They're still looking for a permanent location, but they've been doing weekly pop-ups also at the Miyaura Shoten community center. Marcus is asking about Radar Room. Yeah, they're one of the two that we gave the test beans to.
Yeah, Radar Room is doing test roasts, and Moonamel Cafe is doing test roasts, and we're going to get together and do a little cupping.
A cupping. That's what
And
we call it.
Radar Room, Mamo at Radar Room has told me that he has, he's still connected with his former employer in Tokyo, and he actually worked in Melbourne. I just was scrolling his Instagram and found out that he had worked in Melbourne, doing as a barista. So he's got a lot of connections to the industry, and he's hopefully going to be able to help us make some connections there as well for us to get those beans out.
Yeah. They're still looking for a location, but they want to be in this neighborhood that we're in. So they're looking specifically in Inokuchi neighborhood, but for the time being, they'll be doing their pop-up at the same place that we're doing our pop-up.
Oh, heck yeah, Steve. We'll get you some samples up there. How much you want?
Oh yeah, we'll send you some coffee beans, Steve. Nice. Marcus says, we went to where they have... Oh, that's right, I didn't tell you. Yeah, Marcus found Radar Room Coffee in Melbourne.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. All the way from Omishima. We got that connection there. Steve knows a few guys already roasting in Nagano, so awesome. We'll have to get another package out to you, Steve. What else do you want? You want a PonCon shirt, some coffee?
You want a dog?
No.
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 But yes. But no.
And I have some fun photography news. So this has been the lowest thing on our business plan list. Is getting my photography business reestablished here in Japan, and this year is the second year that I did not make the final cut, but I was once again a finalist in the Shimanami Kaido annual wall calendar photography contest. So I got a 5,000 yen reward, and I got a cute little printout with my name and my photo on it. And I think I will get a complimentary wall calendar as well, so that's pretty exciting.
It's a lot of strong zeros.
Both years I've entered, I've received... First year I got an finalist, and this year was honorable mention. So maybe next year we'll actually make the cut for the calendar. I actually have a photo series planned that I want to take. I've got a...
Is it Bosco in a sombrero?
It is not Bosco in a sombrero, but I could rethink my plans to include Bosco in a sombrero. No, I've got a couple of Google Map places pinned on my map. I climbed up the hill and picked a spot that is overlooking the island and Tatara Bridge, and I'm going to take a shot from up there in all 4 seasons using my tilt shift lens. So I want to get the exact same spot, all 4 seasons. So the first one's going to be, I think, to capture all 4 seasons the best, I think it'll be mid-January? April? Would April be when the cherries are blooming?
March, probably.
March. Okay. January, March. June is when it would be nice and green. And then late October would be fall colors. So it's not like every 3 months.
Probably December for fall colors. November, December. It's pretty late here.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, early November. So January, March, June, November. That seems weird, but that's when the seasons seem to be peak. So I was gonna do it last year and I forgot. So I'm gonna do it this year and try again to get on the wall calendar for the next year. So wish me luck. And yes, I have a tilt shift, Marcus. Have you been living under a rock? No, I have not. I haven't been shooting. But yes, the tilt shift is one of my prized possessions. I used it quite a bit in Mexico. I actually bought it for portrait photography. I like to use it for portrait photography. I did my friend Casey and Woody's engagement session. They met us in Puerto Vallarta when we were in Mexico, and she's a photographer too. She's a fabulous photographer, and Woody had arranged prior to them coming down. He'd talked to me about secretly planning a engagement photo shoot when they met us in Puerto Vallarta. So we really did it up and had fun. And of course, she's a photographer, so she let me work as long as I wanted. So yes, I have a tilt shift. I use it for portraiture, and then I get its intended purpose is architecture, but it's also fun for landscapes. So yes, it's a reasonably priced tilt shift lens too. So that, I mean, I wanted one forever. I wanted one for a decade, but they're thousands of dollars, like tens of thousands of dollars for all the good ones. And then finally, I think it was after 20, it was around 2020, a reasonably priced tilt shift finally hit the market, and I got it immediately. Loved it. One of Steve's Patreons works for a German camera company. Cool. That's awesome. Best lenses in the world. Yeah, I don't know how to pronounce it, so I avoided pronouncing it. But yes, I have heard of the lenses. I primarily shoot Nikon, but I know that those guys make great lenses. And I actually can't remember the brand name of the tilt shift lens that I have. They made the NASA cameras. Cool. That's awesome. Yeah, I mean, I do have hopes that someday I'll be able to get more into photography again, but
Shoot your own fake moon landing.
I could shoot my own fake moon landing. Yeah. Let's see. Oh, and I had a meeting with, I mentioned this before, but I had a video conference with the editor-in-chief of a magazine, a travel magazine, who wrote the nicest article about us. And she wants to do a whole article series. So it took us a long time to get our schedules to line up, but she was really interested in just everything we're doing. She wants to do an article series, just sort of like updating on our progress of moving to Japan and everything that we're doing with the business. And then she said that her readers would be particularly interested in the sudden visa changes and us having to adjust and meet those new requirements. And then she's also interested in my Mexico travel photography, because when we spent 15 months traveling Mexico and house sitting, and during that time we were working on our Japan visa plan. And then we were in so many beautiful locations that I documented most places that we stayed at in Mexico for if we were there for more than 2 weeks. I've got a whole gallery of photos, and don't really know, I didn't really know what I was going to do with all of it. I still want to make a coffee table book of the Mexico street chickens. So this very nice editor-in-chief of a very famous travel magazine is interested in my Mexico photos, and then also doing a seasonal, regularly scheduled article on our Japan progress. So that's really exciting, because the readers of this magazine are people who travel, and so it would primarily be going out to people who might potentially come stay at our guest house. So that could be a fun thing to look forward to next year.
Yeah.
Yeah. And we are still in talks. I don't know if I've actually mentioned it, but we have been talking for about a year with a documentary filmmaker in Australia about doing a, well, I don't want to say like the name or anything, because it's a long ways from production, so I'm sure names and all of that can change. But we've been talking with an Australian documentary producer, filmmaker, and so she is interested in including us as one of her 5 or 6, half dozen or so stories of foreigners renovating houses in Japan. So we might have that to look forward to as well. I don't think there's a time frame on her project yet. I pretty sure we've been talking for just under a year or so at this point. But she's been going through the whole process of contacting people and going to film events and looking for people interested in funding her project. And then she contacts me every few months with updates and says, I found a funder for this and we're moving forward with this. So at some point, that may become a possibility for a documentary. I think this one, I think she's done documentary film projects, but this is going to be possibly an Australian TV project. So we'll keep you posted on that. That's probably about all I can say at this point. Stanley says, wow, that sounds like an interesting opportunity to voice your thoughts and experiences. Very exciting. Now, that was in response to the magazine, I think. So, yeah, I'm really excited about that. It's mostly like an interview thing and then just sharing photos that I've probably already taken or would be taking anyways. So it's not a huge additional time commitment to do the magazine articles, and then it's just a huge extra exposure for us and our guest house. So I'm pretty excited about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's go.
All right. Well,
Any questions?
yeah, it's gonna be a busy day today. Clean the guest house, our guests check out, and then we'll be greeting. So we have 6 guests checking out today, and they cooked at home last night. They made their own hot pot dinner. So there will be some kitchen cleaning as well. And then tonight we greet another family of 6, and they're staying for 2 nights. And so they'll be here over the first part of the holiday week. So all of our guests during the holidays, I actually got them dinner reservations and everything taken care of like 2 weeks in advance. Because so many places close. The grocery store here closes for 4 days, so you really have to plan ahead. We've got some guests arriving on January 1st, and so nothing will be open except for a few restaurants, so we have dinner reservations for them. It takes a lot of work getting ready for people to come to a tiny island and everything's going to be closed. But we got it all taken care of. Everybody except we have guests coming on the 30th and they don't have dinner reservations yet, but stores will still be open. Patricia says, how cold does it get on your island in the winter? And it doesn't snow here, but it does get cold by my standards. So we've got the heater on behind us right now. This is enough to keep us warm in our house. This house has a lot more heaters and fuzzy slippers and house jackets. But it doesn't there's no snow here, so it gets down. In February, it'll get it down like every night will be slightly above freezing, and then it warms back up. So not super cold. And the bees are just, doing winter. They slow down in the winter. And Julie says in Japan they have calendar New Year instead of lunar New Year.
They do have lunar holidays, like Obon. Their traditional holidays are all based on the lunar calendar, but yeah, I mean, the regular calendar is the regular calendar. And it's I don't know how they, I don't know, I'm not really sure how they mesh the two, but the New Year's Day that they're going to celebrate is going to be January 1st. So.
Yeah, Marcus is reminding us that there was a little flurry when he was here. There were, and we saw like 3 or 4 flakes in the air the other day, and I was shaking my fist at the sky.
Yeah, I started a part-time job actually at an orange
Oh yeah, we
orange
haven't talked about
manufacturer.
that at all.
And that was December 10th, I think he said. No, it was earlier than that. It was earlier than that, like the first couple of days of December. He said that he was on his way back, crossing the bridge at 10 p.m. at night. That's where I got 10 from. And he said, yeah, he saw snow in the sky, but none of it sticked.
Yep. And the other day, during the day, we saw a couple of flakes, but I mean, nothing ever sticks. It's never like a flurry.
I mean, it's
well,
about
I
as...
guess there was, it was sort of white in the air when Marcus was here, but of course nothing stuck.
I don't really remember. I've seen a few. You know, it's about as cold as it gets right now. Is about as cold as it gets, and it's gonna be just kind of hover around. Well, it's not gonna hover around freezing. It's interesting because
Yeah, the ground isn't cold enough for anything to stay.
yeah, it doesn't snow. It's really dry here during the winter. So it's interesting. We get like a storm at the beginning of every season change. So we did have some rain and some wind a couple days ago, and that sort of the rain was really warmed it up, and then the wind cooled it down to near freezing. But it's interesting, you know, when you're watching your crops, and it kind of since we're on an island and right at sea level, it's really interesting because it's not gonna get, you have to move a lot of water temperature, you know, to freeze. And so you get little pockets where it freezes, and so I'm looking at my tomatoes, and it's like here and there's some frost damage, but overall I'm still getting tomatoes. So it's just interesting to see the tiny little microclimates that show up. Yeah, I don't know. Weather's really interesting to me.
Yeah. Well, it's almost January, and you got the last of the tomatoes.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, and it's interesting because it's all kind of like everything is like the second half of January, first half of February is like the coldest part of the year, you know. So it's not quite right on the, you know, right on the month, and like I think the hottest part of the year is like the second half of July and the first half of August, kind of how it goes.
And then when March hits, it warms up almost immediately. So by my birthday, March 15th, it's like the first day that it's not cold.
Yeah, and the first day that it's really cold is usually right around now. So.
The Japanese never stop talking about the weather. It's the national sport.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, and if you really want to offend a Japanese person, tell them that New Orleans is more humid than Japan. That's fun. They can't believe that there's anywhere in the world where the summer is they can't believe there's anywhere in the world where the summer is worse than here. And I mean, it's bad enough. I'm not gonna brag.
Talk about your part-time job at the citrus factory.
Yeah, sure. Okay. Yeah, we literally make oranges.
You make oranges.
Yeah, but it's pretty great. It's dumping oranges into a big hopper and taking out the yucky ones. Darwin is the worst for humidity. All right, I'll never go there.
Cross that off the list.
Yeah.
Yeah, we lived in New Orleans for 5 years. That's where I learned that I actually like humidity. When we moved from Oregon to New Orleans, Louisiana, that's when I said, Evie, we can never go anywhere colder. We can only go hotter.
Yeah, and here we are, slightly colder than New Orleans.
Yep.
So.
Yep. but that's all right.
But better for growing citrus. So, you want to know about my job? It's pretty cool. Everyone stinks in Darwin. No one wants to know about my job. They all want to talk about humidity.
Patricia says, I lived in East Texas for 3 years. You couldn't go outside in the month of August, and the humidity was so bad it was like trying to breathe through peanut butter. That really paints a picture. Yeah, that is accurate description.
New Orleans people just leave, you know? And like the farmers that we followed, like the organic farmers, they just shut down in August.
Yeah, like here, everybody leaves in February because it's cold and there's no tourists. In New Orleans, everything shut down in August. As a wedding photographer in New Orleans, it would be you'd have weddings up until July 31st, and then they start again in September 1st. Everybody gets August off. No tourists in August.
And
But here, it's almost as humid, but people, it's August is a huge tourism month still, and like guests would arrive riding their bicycles, and they'd be like near heat stroke, like literally, like get inside, take an ice bath, like cool down, chill out, drink some water, please. So in New Orleans, everything shuts down in August, and here it goes strong.
New Orleans even has like restaurants do like promotions during August for locals since they lose so much business during August that they
the super expensive restaurants have cheap meals during August. So that's the time to go to New Orleans if you can handle the humidity, because you can get into the super fancy restaurants for reasonable prices.
And so when our wedding was. Oh, Marcus. Okay, so you want to know about my arubaito? Yeah, so I work in a orange packing plant, and we just get pallets and pallets and pallets of oranges, and I basically dump them into a hopper, and then they go down a conveyor belt, and then someone else puts them into boxes, and then we put the boxes on another pallet, and then we slap the stickers on the boxes, and then we put them on a truck.
So it's you and how many people? It's you and a whole family, right?
Yeah, it's like they're all family that I work with. It's 6 of them, and now it's super busy. I first started in November, and they were only doing 1 day a week of packing, so they would like save up, you know. And they have like, gosh, I counted yesterday. It's 9 pallets times 4 against a wall of oranges. So picture that, and each pallet has I think 6 containers on it, like the ubiquitous Japanese shipping containers, or not shipping, the like milk crates.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe 4, yeah, 4. So 9 times 4 times 4. Whoa, like a lot. And so, and you're picking out the yucky oranges, and there's along the different stages. You know, first you pick out the yucky ones, and then you pick out the ones that are still good for juice but not good for eating out of hand, and then the good ones you put them in a box. And they actually, some of them sit for a long time, so made me think about how we approach our business, you know, and realizing that like for our honey, I mean honey is shelf stable, but there's no downtime between, you know, us getting the honey and it going direct to the customer, unlike in a lot of businesses where they're dealing with fruit and stuff like that, where they have to actually get enough of a volume together to justify turning on the machines, you know. So that adds some inefficiency to the system. It's giving me some food for thought. And it also made me realize we have you know, they have the characters in Japan. They have imeji appu character for promoting regional tourism, and here in Ehime Prefecture, it's Mikyan, the little orange guy. And there's also Dark Mikan, who is a Frankenstein's monster version of Mikan. And he's like, why would you make a gross orange for your mascot? And then you realize that when you work at an orange packing plant, you realize that you're dealing with a lot of Dark Mikans.
Dark Mikans, get them out of there.
Yeah. And the bad ones we put in an itokan, and we give them to the boar hunters. And then they go and set the traps with oranges, and then I take the boar that they trap and I turn them into tacos.
The circle of life.
And that's my story.
Yeah. Oh, and speaking of, you should probably confirm with them what shifts you're working after the holiday. Because I think your first day is like the first day after the working holiday.
Mm-hmm.
Like, yeah, nobody does anything through January 4th, and then January 5th will be your next work day.
Yeah, and the oranges are still ripening.
So basically, he can just, it's set up so it's just a family run business, so he can pick up shifts, it lets him know in advance how many shifts he wants to work each week, or how many shifts they're open. So he's been doing 1 or 2 days a week for a while, except for a couple of weeks we had the honey tasting and he couldn't do it. But January you'll probably be able to do quite a bit, help him out.
Yeah.
It's kind of like when we lived in Portland, we worked at Dar Salam, which was a Iraqi restaurant, and it was mostly just all family and then us working there. A few other people, and this is also just a family situation plus Evan. So,
Well, since it's getting busier, they have more workers.
oh, they do.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, anybody got any great New Year's plans? We got 10 minutes left, so let us know what y'all are doing for New Year's. Marcus, what goes on in Melbourne during New Year's? Anything exciting?
Yeah, it's hot there. I don't know if you knew that.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. It's the opposite there. That would be weird. So y'all have a hot Christmas?
They don't know any better.
I guess we got hot Christmases and New Year's, or in New Orleans too. Who wear tank tops.
Yeah.
Marcus says yes, it's icky hot. Interesting. Steve, what are you doing for New Year's? You got any plans? Christmas in July in Oz. Yeah. I never really thought about that. You have a hot Christmas.
Dar Salam is where Huber's is.
I don't know what Hoover's is. We worked at the Dar Salam on Alberta, which is in northeast Portland. And then they opened up 2 other locations, and then one of them I think is closed. So we worked at the original Alberta location in northeast, and then they have one location downtown. And then I think they opened a 3rd location on Hawthorne, but then closed. But it's a complete family-run business. They got 3 generations working there. Super nice folks. Grandma makes all the desserts. Yeah.
Yeah.
Good memories. Good times working with them. We learned a little Arabic while we were there. We all forgot what day it is between Christmas and New Year's. Yeah. Got it. I think I worked in that building. Well, Dar Salam was its own building on Alberta, but maybe it's something nearby. It was like it was a historic old carriage house that they turned into the dining room, and then the kitchen was actually an Airstream trailer in the back. So Evan was the like the common translator. It was Evie. Harth speaking Arabic, and Angel speaking Spanish, and then Evan spoke a little bit of Spanish and a little bit of Arabic. So between the between the 3 of them and an Airstream trailer, they made it work. Oh, downtown. Oh yeah, the one downtown is in like a big shared building. I only went there a couple of times. I can't remember what else is in the downtown building. But yeah, we had the staff Christmas party downtown one year.
After we moved out of Portland, they got their front window broken.
Multiple times.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The riots.
Yeah, downtown they had their windows broken quite a few times. 2 or 3. Nah, it's crazy. Or maybe yeah, 2 times I think they had the windows broken. Yeah. Good food though. Man, that beet salad. I still dream about that beet salad. Anyways, if you're in Portland, check out Dar Salaam.
True.
Well, let's see.
Well, anybody want a dog? I'm serious.
He's doing good. He's doing good. He doesn't understand what we're doing during the live streams. He gets very confused about us sitting here and talking to the computer. So I think he's doing pretty good considering.
He hasn't had a walk yet today.
Yeah, he has not had a walk yet.
Yeah, there you go, Julie.
Julie, yeah, check out Dar Salaam. Tell him Evan and Danny sent you. They're great people. Great people. And it's still totally family run, so all the people that we worked with are definitely still there. Steve says he'd take him, but he's too big. Yeah, I was wondering last night if Bosco is a large, medium-sized dog, or if he's a small, large-sized dog. But I think for Japan, he's definitely large. But
Steve says you're too big, Bosco. Steve says you're too big. You better shrink.
he's a good boy. He's a good boy. I don't know how he'd like all those cats at your cat cafe, though. He's pretty good with Pongkan, but he's very much tries to herd them around. So we just started letting Pongkan go outside the last couple of weeks, and Bosco still, it's his job to keep Pongkan in the house. So when he sees Pongkan outside, he tries to chase him back in the house because he says, "You're not supposed to be outside." So it's pretty good. He's a smart dog. He knows Pongkan's not supposed to be outside. But now Pongkan can go outside. Get one from 1,000 dogs. I don't know what that is. My cat refuses to go outside now that it's cold and rainy. Yeah, that's a good motivator to stay inside.
Yeah, Bosco does too. He doesn't like to go outside in the cold.
Yeah. Yeah, next couple of months they'll just be hanging out by the heater, like the spoiled critters they are. Oh, the place down the road, Marcus says. Get one from him. His dogs are bigger.
House with 30 dogs.
His dogs are even bigger. Steve has 2 dogs now. You have 2 dogs? One is from a deceased owner, and the new one is still a puppy. Oh, okay. I think I remember you telling us you got a puppy. Send me pictures. I don't remember what your dogs look like, Steve. I need to know.
Bosco, come on, buddy.
How do they do with the cats? If you don't know, Steve has a cafe in Nagano, and he's expanding to have a outdoor rescue cat area for his cafe. So he's done a lot of work with the rescue cats, and now he's building a outdoor space for them.
Well, look at that. Average view duration, 29 minutes and 21 seconds. So that is a lot of attention to be
We're interesting for 29 minutes.
on average. That means half of the people viewed for longer than that.
Steve says his old dog is a 10-year-old Chihuahua, and the new one is a mini Malt Poodle.
I don't know what that means. Maltese Poodle, huh?
Maltese Poodle. I like Chihuahuas. They got a bad rap, but I like Chihuahuas.
Yeah, but you like Bosco.
Well, he's the best dog I've ever found underneath a house.
Underneath a future taqueria.
Future taqueria, Bosco's house. We got 2 minutes left. what do you guys think of the name Taco Party for a taco shop? Do you like the name Taco Party? We're coming up with some names for the taco shop, and the one thing that we need to be careful of is that we don't get taco, T-A-C-O, confused with taco, T-A-K-O, which means octopus. So, we need to
Well,
make it clear that we are selling tacos and not taco.
Julie likes Bosco. Yeah.
Truly like Bosco's.
Taqueria Don Bosco.
Yeah, we're thinking, yeah, we got a couple names. Taqueria Don Bosco is one idea. Because it's where Bosco was found. Another idea is Taco Party. And another idea is Subo.
Takosu Hitotsubo.
Takosu Hitotsubo. That was suggested by our friend and the realtor here, because the location that we're thinking of for the permanent taco location is the size of one tsubo in
Which is
Japanese, which
two
is
tatami
the
mats.
size of 2 tatami mats.
1.8 by 1.8 meters.
So he said that Japanese people would know hitotsubo means one tsubo, and so they would know that it's a very tiny taco place. So, and I kind of like that. I kind of, I feel like we have a lot of Japanese tourists, we have a lot of foreign tourists. We don't want to target one market over the other. But if we had a Japanese name, then Japanese people would understand that it's tacos and not octopus. And foreigners are going to figure out that it's tacos and want tacos. So I don't know. I sort of think that we gear towards the Japanese tourists, especially considering all our neighboring businesses will be Japanese owned businesses. So this could be a whole topic for a whole other live stream, coming up with the name. Maybe we'll present some ideas next month when we do this, and talk more about that, because we're over time now, but dang, I should have brought that up earlier. Yeah, we're gonna have a lot more taco updates once we get past the pop-up, and then we can start letting you know more details about our physical location and sort of what we have in mind for springtime, because we're hoping to have it open before tourism picks up in April. So that means we will have a very busy winter, guys. All right, well, thank you for joining us for the December live stream, and thanks for being here all year with us, and thanks for dealing with the technical difficulties we had the first 20 minutes of this live stream. So thanks for sticking around, and Merry Christmas, everybody. Thank you, Julie. Thank you, Julie, for the super chat. Very much appreciated.
Thanks, Julie.
Thanks for hanging out. Merry Christmas. And we're in that weird space between Christmas and New Year's, so Happy New Year too. And if you're in the area, January 1st and 2nd, we're gonna have tacos. We got a big year coming up, and hopefully y'all will come along with us for the adventure. So, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year.
Woo! Spring break!
See you guys.